Well, hey guys, it's DR Drake 63 coming to you from the workshop again here today. Just a real quick follow-up video. Um, Yesterday, very recently, went out and did a trade of a Smith & Wesson 28-2 in very good condition, but a gun that I just didn't like to shoot. I made a trade at a gun show for this Smith & Wesson Model 19-5. Now, I've got a lot of affinity for this particular firearm due to my very positive experiences with my Smith & Wesson Model 66. So I got this to be a shooter. It's not a looker. And so today we're going to go out and we're going to shoot this and just to see how it functions. I expect it's going to function fine. I've dry fired it, the trigger, the release, the brake, everything on it is very, very positive and what I'm looking for in a revolver. But want to go out and take some shots with this today. Going to use both 357 Magnum, also use a little bit of 38 Special. And just checking out gun function and seeing if it shoots as well as I'd like it to. So we're off to the range, and we're going to start out firing some MagTech 357 Magnum range ammo. It's full metal jacket. Here we are in single action. My expectations is that this would have a similar feel to the 6-inch Model 66 I have, and it sure does. If anything else, the trigger might actually be a little bit more broken in than the Model 66. But no problems at all, really, in terms of just recoil, everything you'd expect. It fires exactly like a 6-inch Smith. And in terms of comparing it to the gun I traded it in for, there's no comparison. It's a much smoother shooter. Now we're going to go ahead and take some shots in double action and see what that compares like. And obviously what you want to be able to do in double action is to be able to manipulate that trigger through a fuller pull without altering your point of aim, and that's always a challenge with double action. Some guns do it better than others. I find Smith & Wessons are great at that, especially as the older ones that get a little bit more broken in, and this is certainly the case. Looking at my first targets here, this is my very first set of shots. Struggling a little bit with the dark colored sights on dark colored background, but as you can see, it groups really well. I was shooting to the left, but really it was more of how I was holding the gun, and I didn't have to make any sight adjustments or Kentucky windage, just a matter of getting used to the sight picture and improving as we go. One of the things that always is a challenge, for me anyway, is just having that dark-colored target with dark-colored front and rear sights. Obviously, shooting against something that contrasts is a lot easier for me. So the one thing that we talked about at length yesterday was the finish on this is not super good at all. And I made the comment that hey, I'm not going to go out and get this thing blued or anything. I'm just going to shoot it and use it as a function gun. It shoots so well and so sweet. The trigger is so good that I'm almost tempted to go out and drop a couple $100 and get a hot blue job on it. Now, it would need more than that. We'd have to buff out an area here where there's some scratches, and the metal shouldn't be a big deal, but food for thought. It's nothing I'm going to run out and do, but this sure is a nice shooting firearm, and I definitely think it would be worth that investment. Maybe upgrade the grips a little bit. I've been a real fan of the Altamont grips. We got a set of those coming in for a Model 10 sometime within the next week or so, and I'm actually going to do a video specifically about revolver grips. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. To you guys that said I was foolish for making a trade on the 28-2, hey man, it's my gun. I know what I'm looking for, and when I have one that shoots so much better than the one I traded, I'm not going to get too worried about whether or not it isn't as in good a cosmetic shape as the other one. But I know a lot of guys do. There's a lot of guys that, man, they get a blemish, a nick, a ding on their firearm, and it ruins their day, ruins their week. It's deal breaker for them. We all have different things we look for. As I've stated, I'm a shooter first and foremost. It can be the nicest looking thing ever, but if it doesn't shoot well, I just don't care. So that's just my take on it. I'm sure there's various camps, but I think there's a lot of guys that are just like me, flannel wearing, outdoorsman type of guys that more than anything else, I want to know this thing's going to go bang when I need it to, that it's going to be accurate, and you know, if it gets rained on, if it gets some mud on it, if I bang it against a tree, something like that, it's not the end of the world, and it's still a beautifully functional gun. Anyway, this is DR Drake 63. I appreciate you watching as always, and hope you have a great day.